Now we are connected with youth climate reality leader Mauriza Arivia to find out more about climate change and also their program, which is the main goal of their program. So good morning, Isa, joining with us today. So we would like to say thank you very much, Isa, for your time.
Morning,
Looking
Isa.
good.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here.
Right, Isa, we're going to talk
Please
about.
call me Iza.
Yes,
Yeah.
Isa, we're going to talk about
Yeah.
climate change, as Paul did mention. It's a very hard issue that we not just here in C today talks about, and also the world. Now let's just jump into our first question. We're going to talk about your organization and also your team there. What is the the project of your organization about regarding this climate change, and what is the main goal?
Okay, thank you again. The Climate Reality Project Indonesia, as I mentioned before, is a branch from the Climate Reality Project that's founded by former Vice President Al Gore. The Climate Reality Project Indonesia itself, found in 2019 and led by Ms. Amanda Katili. We support the activities of 1,037 Indonesian climate ready leaders. And the climate ready conveys fact about the climate crisis and engage community in understanding how to deal with it. We want to highlight that we have a diverse background of the climate reality leaders, and including business leaders, professionals, educators, athletes, musicians, scientists, actors, students, and religious leaders. And it makes us a whole in this battle of the climate movement. And the main goal of what we want to achieve in this actions is the Climate Ready Project want to inspire people in three levels, which in individual level, we want to people to understand the urgency of the climate crisis and change their attitudes and behavior regarding and to be part of the solutions. And the second, at the national level, we want to promote local and national actions to lead to clean energy economies and jobs. And the last, at global level, we want to build a support for global actions and implementations of international communities. In the Climate Reality Project Indonesia itself, we focus on the climate communication, climate education, advocacy, also partnership with different entities to achieve our program goals.
Well
I
said.
think that is for me to introduce our organization's background.
Right.
Yeah, Isa, I'm very. This is very interesting to me because you mentioned that Al Gore founded the Climate Reality Project out of the U.S., which is in 2006. That was actually the time when I watched a movie called An Inconvenient Truth, which was actually by Al Gore. And I've known about climate change before that, but that movie documentary really opened my eyes as to how badly climate change was affecting the world.
Right.
And if we look back, that was over 15 years ago now. How closely does the Indonesian branch of Climate Reality Project work together with the main branch out of the U.S.? Do you share information or programs that are actually a global programs, or do you kind of stand independently?
No, basically we are work closely with the main branch, the headquarters. We connect with their goals, their visions and missions, and we're basically just doing the things in our branch, what we can do to battle the climate change in our countries. We also connect with other branch, not just with the headquarters that in the U.S. We also connected with Southeast Asia's branch. We do a lot of collaborations with Climate Reality Project, Philippines branch, and others branch also. It's not just one branch and one branch activities, but we want to connect to all of the branch. We're kind of make a collaborations also with other branch, and not just in the Indonesia's, but in other branch.
Right.
Yeah, I guess you can share information as well, especially in Southeast Asia. There's a lot of similarities.
Right, a significant work, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this climate change affects, not just here in Indonesia, also the world itself. But if you want to be more specific, in Indonesia, what are the things that we can actually know that the climate change is actually disrupting here in Indonesia?
Yeah, I think it's not a new thing for us to talk about the climate change, what the issues that will bring, that it's damage or impacting our environment, our living a livelihood in Indonesia, also in the world itself. And I think it's not a new thing for us to talk about the climate change and to see what the impact they have. And it's important to us to bring these issues in every sector, so we can really talk about the problem, what we can do about it in Indonesia itself. I think we already know the impact and what we can do to tackle or to solve this problem in Indonesian scope.
Isa, what are some of those main threats that you mentioned? Let's dive a little bit deeper. Today, as it stands, what is the biggest threat that climate change is having on us, and what sort of some of the things we can do to deal with these things?
Okay, I think if you see or if you look deeper in it, we already face it, or we already have the impact in our daily life, like heat wave,
Yeah.
heat wave, hotter temperature. We experience severe storms, drought, and sometimes the weather patterns is not really based on the data. Like basically, we have a hotter temperature, or in this unusual pattern of weathers. It's what happened in our environment. And as someone who seeks peace in nature and adores the oceans, I feel sad to see what happened to our nature, and this carbon dioxide things that has increased. It will currently warm up, continues warming up by 2030 if if we if we didn't do something to prevent it. It will make it worse and worse until we all lose living things in this earth. It will affect much of our daily life. It will impact it to sea level rise.
Yeah.
It will impact to more hotter temperatures and else.
Okay, now you, Isa, as Indonesian youngster here, are so concerned about this climate change, not just you and also your team as well. Now let's talk a little bit more about your program and the organization. The Climate Reality Project has a flagship program which is called Youth Leadership Camp for Climate Crisis, or YLCCC. Now, can you elaborate with us more about this and also the goals and benefits?
Okay, the youth leadership camp for climate crisis, or we can call it YLCCC. Basically, it's an annual training training for Indonesian youth on climate change, organized by our organization, the Climate Reality Project Indonesia, and the purpose is to increase the knowledge about the basic of the climate change, equip the participant with the climate change communication skills, build a youth network also that is connecting with the concern of this issue of the climate change.
Right.
And it has been as part of its dedication since 2011. This camp has trained more than 2,500 youth across
Wow.
Indonesia to respond to the climate crisis. Yeah, it's awesome, right? Like in this 3 days training, participant will equip with information about climate change, what we
Right.
can the lifestyle that they must be done to lower the carbon. After the training, they will also held or you held the 10 weeks post camp activity so they can implement what they have or they get in this camp to implement them in their environment.
Right.
They can continue to be the change, be the to
To take
implement
part, right?
their skills.
Yes.
Yeah, to take part. Yeah, to their communities. And
Yes.
also, I want to highlight for this year, we want to the participant will be invited to exotic place not far from Jakarta. We will hold a camp also this year in this July, and they will learn the issues experienced by regions, especially those related to water conservation and biodiversity. And as I mentioned before, this camp will be held uh, in this July. If you are one of the youth who are interested to take part in this CCC, you can visit our Instagram at Youth Leader Climate Camp for complete information along with the registration steps to take part in this activity. We will open this registration until 10th July, and the camp will be held in 29 until 31 July.
Right.
Okay.
So still more.
Yeah.
Still 2 days more, right? If you want to
yeah.
register.
By the way, Isa,
Yeah.
do you limit as to how many people can sign up at one time, and how many times do you do this per year, or how many times are you planning on doing this?
Basically, because it's annual events,
Once a
but
year.
because the pandemic, we shifting to offline to online,
I
and
see.
we are back to offline again. Hopefully, things are going well.
Yes,
Right.
us too.
Well, for this year, we are not. The participant can join this as a group.
Right.
They must be. They must have 5 members in the group
Okay.
with the gender balance, like 2 or 3 women and men. So it must be gender balanced, and they must fill the registration form to be able we participate in our camp.
Okay.
So basically, uh, easy stuff.
I like that, to make it gender balanced, because there's different things that both men and women can do to
Yes,
be
I
agent
should
of
know,
change
right?
when it comes
But
to
I'm really curious.
Yeah.
You did mention about this youth organization. Since you mentioned youth already, so there obviously we're going to talk about numbers here. How about the age limitation? Any specific age can actually join?
For this camp, because it's a youth camp,
Right.
we limit the age between 17 until 25. And
Right.
you don't have to be worried if you're a fresh graduate. You can also join the camp, but we strictly limit the age range between 70 25 because it's a youth camp, right?
Right. So,
Yeah, I think it is the best time, because that's the time when kids are just, graduating out of high school soon, or just graduated from high school. And that's the time that people are really making change. Their lives are actually changing, so they can do things that matter. Now, speaking about doing things that matter, Isa, does Climate Reality Project also work with the local governments? And do you receive any sort of help or financial help in regards to funding when it comes to your projects?
Okay, regarding the collaboration and partnership, it's also important things for our organizations to deal with, because we work closely with the Ministry of Environment and Forestry of Indonesia on several projects. And we also had collaboration and partnership with several organizations such as UNESCO, PFN, UNFCCC, UNITAR, and many more of organizations that I couldn't name it one by one.
Yeah.
For the funding, yeah, we are receive support from the Climate Reality Global, but we also raise the funding by pitching and giving proposal to our collaborator so that we can get funding to our program. But for what I experienced, the collaboration is not just important because of the funding, right?
Of course.
It's also important to make a partnership with the organizations to have a synergy collaboration and to support the program.
Of course. Now, Isa, as a youth climate reality leader since 2020, now what do you think about the role of youths in climate change issues?
I think it's important things that to mention that youth is agent of the change and the future. Like you know that if we talk about the climate change, you cannot not including youth. You have to include youth in this battle of this climate movement things. Like I want to quote that the world is home to 1.8 billion young people between the age of 10 and 20. Which this is the largest generation of our history. Young people are increasingly aware of the challenge and the risks presented by climate crisis and of the opportunity to achieve sustainable development brought by solutions to the climate change. Youth role is, I think, it's important to include youth in this everything that we are doing in this climate movement. So I think for youth, you can just like not including us in this battle. Contribute. Youth is you can contribute in solving and bringing the solutions to these issues, and we already have it. As you know that we can bring the solutions. It's up to what them want to hurt us or not. And as we are aware of the issues, we want to be heard and we want to be part of the process of this climate movement process.
Yeah, I couldn't.
What we are the future and what they left for us.
Right.
So our role is to protect and be the change for these climate things.
I couldn't agree with you more. You just took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say that, you know, the future is in your hands, and I'm glad that you guys are actually doing something about it. Once again, if you'd like to know more about the Climate Reality Project here in Indonesia, you can visit their website at www.climatereality.id. They also have an Instagram account, which you can check out at climaterealityina. And if you'd like to know more about Climate Reality Project as a whole on a global scale, you can also check out their website at www.climaterealityproject.org. Isa, thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate you joining us this morning, and you're really inspiring not just us, but all the youths out there as well to do something to make this world a better place.
Thank you, Isa.
All right. Have an awesome weekend. Take care.
Thank you.
Hope to check in with you again soon.